Cool beans. Welcome to the midweek fundamental and technical analysis. Let's get into it. Jumping right into it. Looking at Ditsy to start out with as always. I told you guys Monday that I wanted to see price close above Friday's PD array, right? Told you guys if we closed above that, I would like to find support and see us run last week's buy side liquidity. We did close above it. We did find support today. So I mean 102.8804. We came really close to running that buy side liquidity, but we didn't. So I expect us to close the week running that buy side liquidity. Now, with that being said, we do have high impacting news drivers. Or could you mute your mic, please? We do have high impacting news drivers coming out for the rest of this week. Give me a second. All right, that was my fault. I should have had everybody muted upon entry anyway. So we do have high impacting news drivers coming out tomorrow and Friday. So we know with high impacting news comes manipulation. We came really close to that buy side liquidity, but it is in line with my beginning of the week analysis. I said I wanted to see us close above it. We closed above it. I said I wanted to see us find support. We found support. So I expect price to run buy side liquidity. However, I'm going to be monitoring the market to see the dollar to see if we break below the PD array level between throughout the rest of Asian markets tonight and going into London. And you already know if we do break below the PD array, let me go down to 4 hour because I'm on a daily, right? So if we do break below these PD array levels, um, going throughout the rest of the night and going into London, I will expect us um to run sell side liquidity at 101,742. Plain and simple. Um, this was a good pullback down into this PD array, right? Um, I like that. So my bias is still my bias. I want to see us run that buy side liquidity. However, you have to be aware of order flow and you have to roll with the flow. So if the flow changes and we break below the PD array levels that we just broke above, then that changes and we will target sell side liquidity, plain and simple. So to start out the week, it's been beautiful. My gun to head analysis has been on point. So moving on. Of course, we were bearish. Well, I was bearish for currencies, being that I was bullish for the dollar. And we know that currencies are inversely correlated with the dollar. So that means they push in the opposite direction. With that being said, Euro USD, we pushed below. that discount array from Friday. We pushed below it, closed below it. Today we push back up to retest the weekly premium array, that lower level of that premium array, right? Um, see something right quick. Let's throw a fib on this on Tuesdays. Yeah, if we do yesterday's daily range, then you see is it the 79% of yesterday's daily range um is right on top of the 62% of last week's PD array. So that's not a coincidence. Price pushed right up to it, kissed it, and sold off of it. So if the dollar does indeed continue to push up to run that buy side liquidity, then our eyes is on Euro USD's sell side liquidity, of course. So that's what I want to see. That's my bias. I would like to see us run sell side liquidity. However, same thing for Euro as with the dollar, with high impacting news coming out tomorrow. We could see manipulation. I mean, we're gonna see manipulation, but we could see markets reverse from the direction they've been pushing in, and we could see euro just blow through these PD array levels to the upside to run last week's buy side liquidity. So, with that being said, we know that we should sit on the sidelines when high impacting news drivers are coming out and wait for that news to settle for at least 20 minutes, right? And then look for models and look for a trade to execute, plain and simple. So moving on to pound, same thing. Um, we got that downward move that I wanted to see. We didn't run sell side liquidity, right? But we did run Friday's sell side liquidity. Um, so I would like to see us continue to the downside to run sell side liquidity for pound, but we do have high impact news drivers coming out tomorrow. I told you guys Monday that we wanted to see how NZD/USD reacted to this daily fair value gap. If we did not break above it and close above it, I told you guys that I wanted to see us run last week's sell side liquidity, and that was beautiful. Textbook. Can't get any better than that. So that being said, moving on to metals, we pushed down, ran sell side liquidity, and ran some more for silver. Told you guys that I wanted to see us either break above this shaded area, or I wanted to see us. I said I wanted to see us break above and close above that shaded area, or break below and close that below the shaded area, and then I would expect us to run and target the sell side liquidity, man. Well, I mean, we're very close to it, and that is silver. So those are a bunch of pills. Um, yeah. So let me go. You may even see. Mm, mm, See if we run this sell side liquidity from June 29th for gold. I mean for silver. All right. Throughout the rest of the night and going into London. more than likely we'll get a pull back up into this imbalance, that value gap, city, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency as coined by Michael Huddleston. Matter of fact, let me throw a little something on there. We'll rock like that. Cool beans, cool beans. Yeah, same thing for gold. Wanted to see us break and close above shaded area or break and close below it. Um, my bias was to run sell side liquidity for metals, being that we or I was bullish for the dollar, and we know metals inversely correlate with the dollar as well. Yes, sir. All baby, all. Now I just want to find support on top of this shaded area that we just filled in from this imbalance that was created, this daily fair value gap imbalance that was created from November of last year. Now, I am about to position myself, about to start adding long positions to run up to 100 and on up to $130. That's what I've been waiting for. But I would like to see one more aggressive move up, one little push up, right? And then us pull back and find support on that structure. Yes, indeed. And looking at futures, I told you guys Monday night that I wanted to see if price retested consequent encroachment and how we reacted to that level. If we broke above it and closed above it, then I expected us to reach up into that lower premium PD array from last week's price range, which is this range here, from buy side to sell side, 62, 79, and consequent encroachment of this weekly fair value gap. I wanted to see if price could um break through it and close above it. And then I wanted to see us reach up to that lower PD array level. And I told you if we didn't, then my bias would be to the downside to run sell side liquidity and come on down into this uh imbalance, this BC, buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. It's coined by Michael Hudson. So we got that exactly. Right? And um price today ran back up into yesterday's PD array, Tuesday's price range, right? And so I just marked today's daily range. Um, and being that we did run that sell side liquidity today, I expect us to at least pull back up into today's PD array, premium array from today's price range. And we'll see how price reacts. Um, yeah, it's pretty much as simple as that. And um, same thing with E-mini Dow. We I told you guys Monday that I wanted to see how we reacted to the PD array of the weekly range from last week. If we closed above, if we pushed above it aggressively and closed above it, then I would expect us to reach for that 79 and possibly run that buy side liquidity. However, if we found a resistance, if we respected those levels, that I wanted to see us run last week's sell side liquidity. And that's what happened. We ran sell side liquidity yesterday, and today price ran back up into yesterday's PD array. So let me make sure. Yep. So that was yesterday's PD array. Um, so let's see. New daily range. All right. I want to see us push back up into today's premium array. All right. And then we'll see how price react to that level when we get there. And NZD, I mean, I'm sorry, E-mini NASDAQ, um, we did not. So let me go back to the weekly, because I told you guys that I was paying attention to this level here, this order block, right? That's coined by Michael Hudson. I wanted to see price at least reach up into there and see how we reacted there. However, my target was the weekly premium array. We didn't get close to neither. And NZD, I'm sorry, E-mini NASDAQ just sold off. And I'm expecting us to continue to run to sell side liquidity. But just keep in mind that we got high impact news tomorrow. So hopefully everybody already hit their target for the week, and you can just do some tape reading to see how this high impacting news. Oh man, hold on. I shouldn't do that. Yeah, price reached up into yesterday's PD array beautifully and gave us a beautiful sell off today down into this daily fair value gap if you was paying attention to your technicals. So let me mark today's range. Now. Cool beans. Um yeah. So I expect us to pull back up into today's premium array, and then we'll see how price react to those levels if and when we get there. Last but not least, crypto. I want to see us go ahead and run on up to at least take out this buy side liquidity at 31,800. If we run that, I would like to see us pull back down to this structure here, find support, and run us on up to 32.5 and on up to 40,000. Same thing with Ethereum. I want to see us run this 2,000 maybe pull back down, find support, and then run us on up to 2,500. ApeCoin, we at 180. I bought some more ApeCoin today, I ain't gonna lie. Um, and Yuga Labs got some things in the works. So I'm expecting us to start seeing some bullish momentum out of ApeCoin. However, if we continue to sell off, y'all already know the score. Um, dollar cost averaging in at $1.50. Simple as that. So that will conclude the midweek fundamentals. At this time, I will pass it over to Carmen so she can give us the midweek. I'm sorry. That will conclude the midweek technical analysis. At this time, I will pass it over to Carmen so she can give us the midweek fundamentals. It's all yours, Carmen.
All right, cool. So, picking up where we left off, with the 10K. All right, so,